Picture this. You're exploring an abandoned Scottish castle. The air is thick with the weight of history. Suddenly, you hear a scraping sound. You turn to see a small, grotesque figure with blazing eyes and a blood-red cap. It's wielding a pike, and it's coming straight for you. This is the terrifying world of Redcaps, Scotland's most feared mythical creatures. In this video, we'll take you on a journey through time to uncover their origins, their role in Scottish folklore, and their enduring legacy in modern fantasy. Are you brave enough to learn the truth about these malevolent beings? In the turbulent borderlands of medieval Scotland, a chilling tale emerges from the shadows of history. The Scottish-English border was a place of constant conflict, where violence and bloodshed were commonplace. Raids, ambushes, and skirmishes were frequent occurrences, leaving a trail of destruction and fear in their wake. Border castles, once symbols of protection, became the stage for gruesome acts. Enemies were captured, tortured, and executed within their walls. The sight of blood-stained stones and the echoes of screams left an indelible mark on the collective psyche of the local population. These fortresses, meant to safeguard against invaders, instead became synonymous with terror and brutality. The impact of these border conflicts on local communities was profound. Families lived in constant fear of attack, never knowing when raiders might strike. Crops were burned, livestock stolen, and lives were lost with alarming regularity. The psychological toll of this ongoing violence created a fertile ground for the birth of supernatural legends. In times of great trauma and fear, the human mind often seeks explanations beyond the realm of the ordinary. The horrors witnessed in the Borderlands were so extreme that they seemed to defy rational explanation. It was in this context that the seeds of the Redcap legend began to take root. Oral tradition played a crucial role in the preservation and spread of these tales. As stories of bloody raids and merciless attackers were passed down through generations, they began to take on a life of their own. The line between fact and fiction blurred, and the most terrifying aspects of these accounts were amplified and exaggerated. The violence of the border raids became personified in the form of a malevolent creature. This being was said to inhabit the very castles where so much bloodshed had occurred. It was described as a small, goblin-like figure with a distinctive red cap, a cap that drew its color not from dye, but from the blood of its victims. The red cap emerged as a supernatural embodiment of the border violence. Its presence in folklore served as a warning, a reminder of the dangers that lurked in the shadows of these contested lands. The creature's insatiable thirst for blood mirrored the seemingly endless cycle of violence that plagued the region. Picture a creature so terrifying that its mere presence could freeze you in your tracks. This is the Redcap, a being whose appearance belies its capacity for violence and horror. Despite their small stature, these goblin-like entities strike fear into the hearts of even the bravest souls. At first glance, a Redcap might seem almost comical, a diminutive figure barely reaching the height of a child. But as you look closer, the true nightmare reveals itself. Their eyes glow with an unnatural red light, hinting at an insatiable bloodlust. Sharp, pointed teeth fill their mouths, perfect for tearing flesh from bone. Perhaps most distinctive are their iron-shod boots, a chilling reminder of their supernatural strength and endurance. But it's the Redcap's namesake feature that truly sets it apart, the blood-soaked cap perched atop its head. This gruesome headwear serves as both trophy and life source, a constant reminder of the creature's violent nature. The symbolism is clear. The Redcap wears its brutality for all to see, reveling in the fear it instills. In its gnarled hands, the Redcap clutches a pike, a long, spear-like weapon with a rich history in medieval warfare. This choice of armament is no coincidence. The pike, once a common sight on battlefields across Europe, represents the Redcap's connection to human conflict. It's as if the creature has adopted the tools of mortal violence for its own terrifying purposes. Every aspect of the Redcap's appearance seems carefully crafted to embody medieval fears and superstitions. Its red eyes evoke associations with demons and hellfire, while its sharp teeth hint at a bestial, inhuman nature. The iron-shod boots, impervious to wear, suggest an unstoppable force that can pursue its victims tirelessly. Yet, for all their fearsome qualities, what truly makes Redcaps unstoppable is their insatiable need for fresh blood. These creatures must continually soak their caps in the vital fluid of their victims, or risk fading away into nothingness. This compulsion drives them to commit acts of unspeakable violence, ensuring a never-ending cycle of terror and bloodshed. With their insatiable thirst for blood and supernatural strength, Redcaps seem like an unstoppable force of nature. But even the most fearsome creatures have vulnerabilities, and these malevolent beings are no exception. In the face of such relentless foes, hope for survival lies in understanding their weaknesses. Throughout history, mythical creatures have often been portrayed with specific vulnerabilities that balance their formidable powers. For Redcaps, their Achilles heel is deeply rooted in the spiritual beliefs of medieval Scotland. As Christianity spread across the land, its symbols and rituals became powerful tools against supernatural threats. The cross, a central symbol of Christian faith, is said to have a potent effect on Redcaps. Brandishing a cross or reciting scripture in their presence is believed to repel these bloodthirsty creatures, forcing them to retreat. This connection between Christian symbolism and protection against evil reflects the deep integration of religious beliefs into Scottish folklore during the Middle Ages. The power of faith against Redcaps extends beyond physical symbols. Prayers and hymns are also thought to ward off these malevolent beings. The mere sound of sacred words is said to cause them pain and discomfort, driving them away from potential victims. This aspect of the legend highlights the perceived strength of spiritual devotion in the face of supernatural threats. However, Christian symbols are not the only means of escape from a Redcap's clutches. Some tales speak of outsmarting these creatures by leading them on a chase across running water. Redcaps, bound by their nature to the ruins they inhabit, are said to be unable to cross streams or rivers. This limitation offers a potential escape route for those quick-witted enough to use the landscape to their advantage. Yet, the most intriguing weakness of Redcaps lies in the very source of their power, their blood-soaked caps. These gruesome headpieces are not merely trophies of their violent deeds, but are intrinsically tied to their existence. If a Redcap's cap dries out, the creature will perish. This macabre detail explains their constant drive to kill, as they must regularly replenish the blood in their caps to survive. This peculiar vulnerability adds a layer of tragic compulsion to the Redcap legend. These creatures are not just mindless killers, but are driven by an existential need to maintain their gory headwear. Their relentless pursuit of victims is not merely a choice, but a necessity for their continued existence. In an age of science and reason, the ancient Scottish boogeyman, known as the Redcap, continues to captivate our imagination. This enduring fascination speaks to the power of folklore to evolve and adapt to modern sensibilities, bridging the gap between medieval superstition and contemporary entertainment. As society has progressed, our relationship with mythical creatures has shifted. Where once they were objects of genuine fear and belief, today they often serve as vehicles for storytelling and cultural exploration. The Redcap, with its blood-soaked history and terrifying visage, has found new life in the realms of fantasy literature and popular media. Modern fantasy authors have embraced the Redcap, weaving it into rich narratives that blend traditional lore with fresh interpretations. In these stories, Redcaps often retain their malevolent nature, but are given more complex motivations and backstories. Some writers have reimagined them as tragic figures, cursed to violence by ancient magic, while others have amplified their savagery to create formidable antagonists. The gaming world has also adopted the Redcap with enthusiasm. Role-playing games like Dungeons & Dragons feature Redcaps as fearsome foes, challenging players with their supernatural strength and bloodthirsty tactics. Video games set in fantasy worlds have incorporated Redcaps as enemies, or even playable characters, allowing gamers to experience the legend in interactive ways. These modern interpretations have both preserved and altered the original legend, while the core elements of the Redcap's appearance and violent nature remain intact. Contemporary versions often explore deeper themes of morality, free will, and the nature of evil. This evolution reflects our changing understanding of mythology and its role in society. Interestingly, the Redcap has also found a place in Scotland's tourism industry. Some castles and historical sites now feature Redcap-themed events or exhibits, blending education with entertainment. These activities allow visitors to engage with Scottish folklore in a tangible way, fostering a connection to the country's rich mythological heritage. The enduring appeal of Redcaps in our collective imagination stems from their embodiment of timeless themes. They represent the consequences of unchecked violence and the dark potential within human nature. In a world that often feels chaotic and unpredictable, the Redcap serves as a stark reminder of the thin line between civilization and savagery. As we've journeyed through the dark corners of Scottish folklore, we've seen how Redcaps embody both the nation's violent past and its resilience. These blood-soaked creatures serve as a stark reminder of the power of myths to preserve history and teach valuable lessons. But the story of Redcaps doesn't end in the ruins of medieval castles. Their legend continues to evolve, finding new life in books, games, and even tourism. This enduring fascination speaks to the deep-rooted human need for stories that thrill and caution us. So, the next time you hear a tale of supernatural terror, ask yourself, what truths might be hiding beneath the surface? And what other Scottish legends are waiting to be discovered, ready to reveal their own secrets about our shared human experience? For now, go well, and I'll see you on our next video adventure.